Hello, happy people, and happy 4th of July. I am making this video today because tomorrow marks a very special day, and I want to make that video for tomorrow and upload that tomorrow. But today, I'm uploading this today because I just couldn't wait anymore. I'm sitting here on my bed, and I couldn't wait to upload it. So, here I am. It is a special video. It's going to consist of two movie reviews. One of which I've been wanting to review for a few days now. Just thought of it in my head and I couldn't get it out of my head since then. The other movie, I can't believe it took me this long to do it. It came out a year before Frozen did. Why did it take me this long when I watched Frozen and instantly made a movie review? God knows why, right? So, yeah, marks a very special day. I had to get this video out of the way before I did tomorrow's video, and I'm sorry for not keeping my promise about uploading a video every day. I've been really bad at that, but hey, nobody's perfect. So, the first movie we're going to review is Rise of the Guardians. I'm just going to let that sink in. Your first reaction is probably, why are you reviewing Rise of the Guardians? You are 16, for God's sakes. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I turned 16 last month. Big whoop. I saw it when I was 15. Suck it. Rise of the Guardians, I know. It's a cartoon animated movie. 3D animated, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. You might say, it's a kid's movie. You shouldn't watch it. You should be watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Paranormal Activity of Mark Ones. Both of those movies are piles of crap. Just saying. I watch my fair share of adult movies. I watch my fair share of kid movies. I watch all movies. You guys should know this by now. But we're talking about Rise of the Guardians. Now, when I first looked at that movie, I saw the trailer for it, and I saw the cover and everything. I'm like, it's a fairy tale version of Avengers. And it's like a year late. That's exactly what it was. A fairy tale version of Avengers. And although it did have a few things that were different, but the characters are the same. Like, you have Santa Claus, who's kind of like Nick Fury. You have Tooth Fairy, who's kind of like Black Widow. You have all those guys. So you have like Sandman, who's kind of like the Hulk, I'd say. I guess Sandman's kind of like the Hulk, but it's different. It's different, but different does not always mean bad. What you need to look for in Rise of the Guardians is get past the fact that it's a kid's film. Yes, it's meant for kids, but grown-ups can watch it too and have enjoyment value. When it says it's a movie for all ages, it means it. Anyone can watch that movie and enjoy it. Same with Frozen. Anyone can watch that movie and go, that's a good movie. Unless you just like to tear apart any movie you see, then just why are you watching movies? But Rise of the Guardians, it has interesting characters. You really feel for the main character. By the way, the main character is Jack Frost. The supporting characters are the others, such as Tooth Fairy, Sandman. Oh, by the way, one of my favorite has to be the Easter Bunny, voiced by Hugh Jackman, and that's why he's my favorite. I love Hugh Jackman. You know, Hugh Jackman's hilarious. And when he's actually voicing an Australian person, when he is Australian himself, that's just freaking cool. I'm sorry, I have to say, that's just freaking cool. But the characters, you know how all the Marvel movies are action, but they are taking this new, like, they have comedy in their movies. They have these really funny lines in the movies, like in Avengers. I'm going to be comparing this movie to Avengers a lot, but Iron Man, when he says, when Captain America and Iron Man are talking, he just says, yeah, big man in the suit of armor. Take that off. What are you? And Iron Man just spells it out. Genius, millionaire, playboy, philanthropist. I'm like, ha 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 ha, that's funny. And yeah, it just has funny lines in the movie that it doesn't take away from the story, or it doesn't just completely ruin the moment. they have lines in there that are meant to just be kind of ha-ha, hey, it's there. But it's not bad that it's there. It's just funny to see and funny to hear. But when it gets down to the points where you have things like, there's this one scene where they're trying to help out. Everyone's trying to help out the Tooth Fairy, and she gets back to her base, and it's all just in ruins. You're like, holy crap! What happened here? You really feel, and like the Tooth Fairy's just like kind of falling apart little by little, and you really feel for her, and you're like, no, don't go, don't fall apart. Come on, stay strong, stay together. And Jack Frost, he's trying to find his inner self, and Santa Claus, who's kind of like I said, Nick Fury, gives him a little pep talk. He just helps him just find out what he's actually there for, and he finds out why he's becoming a guardian, because he doesn't think, hey, I'm not really supposed to be a guardian. This is a huge mistake, blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of cliche when it comes to that, because you're like, okay, he's going to find a way why he has to be a guardian, blah, 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 and he's going to end up being a guardian. And he does, but you're not bored watching him become a guardian, because he grows. The character grows, and you see why he wants to just forget that he wants to forget being a guardian, because he's a teenager. He's like 16, 17, something like that. And he's like, nope, that can't be me, nope. But he has a lot of fun with kids. That's his attachment to that's his attachment to the movie. He loves kids, and that's kind of the lesson he shows the other Guardians. He's like, one of the lines is, when was the last time you guys ever played with kids? Do you know what they want? So that was really cool. He showed them, hey, kids are kids. I have a connection with them. And the main villain is the mythical character known as Boogeyman. We all know Boogeyman. He was the nightmare of the 90s. Forget Freddy Krueger. This guy owns Freddy Krueger. He was the main guy who's like, hey, the boogeyman's under my bed, blah, blah, blah. He is the very essence of nightmares. And that's what the whole thing is. That's his power, invading nightmares. And his whole evil plan is to take over the world of kids, make everyone afraid so that he become all powerful. There you go. That's his plan. It's spilled out for you. And there's this one point where one of the characters does go away. And I'm not going to tell you who, I'm not going to tell you when, but you know that they're going to come back. And you're like, yeah, there's no way that he's not coming back, But when he does come back, you're like, yeah, he came back. So yeah, the movie has depth to the characters, has depth to the story, and there are times where there's this one part where everyone gets mad at Jack Frost. You're like, crap, what's going to happen now? So it does have mystery. You want to know what's happening at the next corner. You want to know what's going to happen. And you just have to keep watching the movie. It's a good length movie. You're never sitting there really bored, because there's important scenes after every other scene, and there's really no point where it slows down. There's no point at all. There's always something happening, and it keeps you interested. So I will say it's a pretty good movie. 8.5 for me. It was a good movie. I have definitely watched it a few times since then, and definitely watch it on Blu-ray. My philosophy, if it's a good animated 3D animated movie, just get it on Blu-ray. How to Train Your Dragon, for instance, get that on Blu-ray. That's awesome right there. All right, well, that was that movie. 8.5. Get it on Blu-ray if you can. Now, the second movie. You people are probably not going to expect this from me, because it's been out for like a year and a half. 2012, I think. Not sure. Yeah, 2012. But I love this movie, and I was so freaking excited for it when it came out. This movie is another 3D animated movie called Wreck-It Ralph. I'm gonna let that sink in too. Yes, it's a 3D animated movie. Yes, it's a movie that's probably meant for kids. But I think a lot of people can take away from this movie. Teens, adults, it doesn't matter who you are. You can take something away from this movie. This was a good movie, man. If I had a choice between watching Rise of the Guardians and Wreck-It Ralph, I'm gonna go with Wreck-It Ralph. I'm not saying that Rise of the Guardians isn't good because I just gave it a review. I said it was good. Wreck-It Ralph, though, I don't know. I just like Wreck-It Ralph just a bit more. And I don't know if it's because of the video game aspect or the story aspect or just the characters. I mean, the characters are great. The main character, Ralph, you see his troubles. You see what's going on in his life. And you see why he's all mad at the world he's living in and why he doesn't want to be the bad guy anymore. Because that's the whole thing. He doesn't want to be a bad guy anymore because he's treated like crap. So he goes over to other game worlds and when you see the trailer, you're like, oh boy, I hope they show more than what they actually show, but sadly they don't. I mean, there are a lot of cameos, like, there's this one scene about 20 minutes in where Ralph is in that bar game. You remember that bar game, that old classic bar game where you had to go up and down the tables and just, like, throw the orders to people? You remember that game? I do. I know I do, but there are a lot of cameos like that. The Bad Guy Club actually takes place in Pac-Man, which I thought was pretty funny. When I saw it took place in Pac-Man, I'm like, ha 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 ha, that's pretty funny. They have neat little cameos like that, but the two other worlds that they showed in the trailer, you know, the one where everyone's all suited up, it's all dark, it's all Mass Effect, Halo-ish. It looks like a combination of Mass Effect and Halo. That's really what that world looks like, and it's called I forget what that world is called, but yeah, that's basically what it is. And then there's that, and then the other game that they're in, that candy go-kart thing, that is basically candy version of Mario Kart. That's exactly what it is. But hey, it's fun to look at because you're like, that candy looks good. And when they actually have a race in the movie, and you see the different power-ups, like there are sugar missiles and stuff, and you're like, hey, that's from Mario Kart. Well, it looks like it's from Mario Kart. It's like if Mario Kart would just like had a sugar, like it just like ate a bunch of sugar and had icing poured on top of a DK track, that would be that game world. It's pretty cool, although I do wish they showed other game worlds, but hey, you can't complain too much. I liked the game worlds. They were interesting. They didn't show too much of the Halo / Mass Effect world, but hey, you can't really show too much of that now, can you? With the candy version of Mario Kart. Hey, Mario Kart, by the way, speaking of which, you see him back there? Yeah, Mario Kart. Yahoo! But they show a lot more of that because that's where one of the main characters' world takes place. Her name is Vanellope von Sweets. She is the outcast of everyone in the Mario Go-Kart candy racing game, and nobody likes her. And she just feels left out, and that's where she kind of becomes Ralph's sidekick. They're both each other's sidekicks, really. They're both kind of the main characters of the movie, and they both support each other really well. They both help each other out, and Ralph makes a deal with her because she has what he needs to become somebody in his game and not treated like crap. And when he actually does get it, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it to you without ruining the movie, like spoiling it for you. Like this is a big plot point of the whole movie, But when he does get what he wants, he kind of just you think, come on, you can't leave her there. You can't just say "Hasta la vista, baby," and just leave her there. But when he gets it, you just have to see the movie and see what happens. But that moment, I actually teared up a little bit. I'm like, whoa, that's emotional. And that movie does get emotional. It does. It really does. And I teared up in the middle, like in that scene that I was just talking about, and at the ending when it ended. Just because all the gaming references, I'm a gamer, and that movie just speaks to me. I just love all the gaming stuff in that movie, and the characters, you really relate to them. And there is a bad guy in this movie. You wouldn't think that there is, but there is a bad guy in this movie. And no, before you guys make jokes, it's not Wreck-It Ralph. It's not any of the actual bad guys, like villains of their own games. It's no one like that. And when the twist of this movie happens, holy crap, is it a twist? It's just as bad of a twist as the Frozen's twist was. You do not see it coming. You're like, whoa, holy crap, what? What? That is the twist in this movie. You're like, holy whoa. Like, when I saw that, I'm just like, because it is a huge twist. And you don't see it coming. That's what I like. When a movie offers you a twist just out of the freaking blue, just totally left field, and you do not see it coming. It's just like, it hits you in the face like a dodgeball when you're looking the other way. You don't see it coming, but it hits you hard, and it just totally switches up everything. And it's just insane. It's really insane. And you know how they're talking about, in the trailer, how to say going turbo? They do explain what that is. And it's really cool how they do it. Fix-It Felix is a character in this movie, and he plays some relevance. Also, if you guys know Jane Lynch, she played Sam's mom in iCarly. She was in another Cinderella story. She's been in a few things, and she's also Charlie's therapist in Two and a Half Men. I like Jane Lynch. She's pretty funny when she wants to be. In this movie, she's a hardcore, bad to the bone, just like, hey, you see that? That's trouble you caused. You won't. I'm gonna have to go deal with it. And she is just hardcore, man. But what I actually think is pretty funny, her character that she's voicing looks exactly like Jane Lynch, which I'm like, did they use some new face recognition 3D animated converter software that I don't know about? Because it looked exactly like her. It was pretty cool, actually. But when the climax of the movie happens, it's like, whoa. And that part you might tear up at, because it's just so... and not that it's emotional, it's just... whoa. It kind of is emotional, but, when... I'll give you a hint. It's when Ralph is falling... And he's falling, and he's reciting the bad guy. He's reciting the bad guy thing. That's when it happens, and you're like, okay, whoa, just whoa. And that's what the scene I'm talking about. But the movie does end on a happy note, and it ends with Ralph talking over it. And there's this one part where he's kind of funny, and they do have a bit of a romance story going on between Jane Lynch's character and Fix-It Felix, which it was cool to add in. It gave him it kind of gave him a reason to stick together. That, and the whole point is, if you are outside of your game and you die, you really do die. there's no such thing as regenerating if you're outside your own game. So that's kind of where some of the suspense kicks in. Because when everyone's in that candy world, there are some points where they might die, and they're like, whoa, suspense there, don't die. So, you do care for the characters. They don't stick so many characters in there that you're just like, I don't care about any of you. And there are no characters in that movie where you wish they would die. There are some points where when you first meet a character that you were just like, get out of my face. But then you really start to like them, and it's they really take time and making sure all of the characters you like all the characters. And what I thought was actually pretty cool is all the candy that's in the world, that Mario Candy Go-Kart world, all of them have their real life title, like Hershey's, Milk Duds, Laffy Taffy, just whatever. All the candy used in that world, actually, they had to get the copyright for all of that candy. So if they took the time to do that and they spent the money to do that, then they must have thought they were making something good, and they had faith in it, which is good because they were creating a masterpiece when they were making this movie. I like the movie. I wish they had more gaming worlds, but hey, you can't really complain too much. And they do have some cameos from your favorite classic games like Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man. They have a bunch of those. And it's just, I love it. And yeah, that's really what I was looking forward to. And the sound effects in the movie are great. The characters, they have the real characters. They have Bowser in there. They have Zangief in there. They have, what's his name? The guy from Street Fighter. Oh, what's his name? M. Bison, that's his name. They have him in there. They have a bunch of guys in there, and they're the real characters. You're like, whoa, they have the real characters in this game, or in the movie. And you really feel like you're watching a video game movie. And yeah, it does have a Toy Story-ish element when the lights go out and the arcade's done and closed up. All the guys come out and they just kind of do whatever they want, which I thought was pretty cool. It was really awesome. And there is a time where you're like, whoa, by the way, if you're not there for your game when the arcade is open, you are in jeopardy of getting shut down, and they express that in this movie. So I thought it was pretty cool. When Ralph actually does get what he wants, it's not all it's cracked up to be. When you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I think you should definitely go see this movie again. 3D animated movie, it's amazing. Go buy it on Blu-ray. So, Frozen, buy it on Blu-ray. Wreck-It Ralph, buy it on Blu-ray. And, what's the last movie I was talking about? Rise of the Guardians, buy all three of those on Blu-ray. Just do it. Because they're all amazing. They deserve to be bought on Blu-ray. I love all three. I will actually give Wreck-It Ralph, I want to give it a 9. It was awesome. I love Wreck-It Ralph. I will see Wreck-It Ralph anytime. In fact, I want to watch it tonight. It's just that good. The soundtrack is great. The characters are great. The story's great. You have the characters and story. It all has depth. The artwork is amazing. I just love it. It's amazing. It's great. So, if anyone ever wants to see this movie, drag me along, because I want to see that movie. I would love to see that movie again. I can get it right now. I will watch it right now. I actually own that movie, I think. It's a worthwhile movie. So, that's just my take on it. And, so, Rise of the Guardians, 8.5. Wreck-It Ralph, 9. I love both of those movies. Go watch them. Tomorrow, we are going to have a very special video. And it's going to be somewhat of a channel update, because I've made a plan for each day of the week. That's my hint to you guys. Goodbye, peace out, and enjoy your July 4th.